friends, it's me, Jen. I'm hoping that you guys are doing well today. Um, I had tried to upload a meditation session or closing for an active yoga class last week, and it never went through, and then I lost it. So I'm just gonna try to kind of recreate what I wanted to do last week for a meditation or a closing from a floor mat class that I taught last week. However, obviously you can use this anytime you like. I know during these difficult times, sometimes we just need to take some time out to meditate and to grow quiet. We have so much news coming at us right now, a lot of it scary, and we just need to dial in to some positivity and some God's love, right? So if you have your mat laid out and you've got your props handy, maybe you have a couple big couch cushions, you can grab those. Maybe grab a blanket. Maybe put your sweatshirt on, put your socks back on, and get ready to kind of cool, you let your body cool down and just find some rest, right? So there's lots of different ways to do a shavasana, right? There's no have-tos in yoga, which is what I love about it, is it's so flexible and it's made to meet the practitioner, the yogi, where you're at. So if you'd like, feel free to lay completely flat on the floor. If you'd like to have some alternatives to that, perhaps take your bolster, right, or your cushion, maybe take a couple blocks, make the blocks into an L shape, place a bolster on top, or a cushion, right? Maybe get a second cushion handy. Bring your hips back towards that bolster or that cushion. Slide the other one underneath your knees, right? And you got a nice little lounge here going, right? And maybe put your hood up if you'd like. And you're just going to let that heart center open and let the palms open, right? And just take a beautiful inhale here. Let the belly fully expand. And a big sigh out, right? And just let your jaw relax. Now, if you only have one cushion or whatever, maybe just place it behind your back or maybe just underneath the knees. So as we settle back here and as we kind of settle back into the breath, we're going to encourage our mind's eye to trace that breath through the body. So I like to think about the air that you're drawing into your body having a color or a light associated with it. As you breathe in, the belly inflates. And you draw that light into your body. And as you exhale, you're drawing your navel, your belly button towards your spine. And your mind's eye is watching that light, that color, twist and turn its way down into your limbs, down into the dark recesses of your body. Now I want you to become aware of where in your body maybe that light is having a difficult time getting into. Maybe the light or that color just kind of stops at your shoulder heads and has a difficult time moving down towards your fingers and your toes. So just take a beautiful inhale through the nose here and a big sigh out the mouth. And give your body permission to open up. Right? And some people like to think of the imagery of a lily, right? A lily pad, right, on the water, and how they gently open up with the sunshine. The petals unfold, and it starts to draw in the energy from the light. Right? And the root of that lily travels all the way from the surface of the water, down deep, all the way to the bottom of that lake or pond, and anchors into the earth. Right? But it draws its energy from above. So as we pause here just to breathe, if you can imagine perhaps the light shining upon you, you're just drawing in that warmth. And each breath that you take, you're drawing that light deeper into your body. You feel your body sinking deeper. Heavier, weighing heavier into the earth. So rest here for a few more breaths. Continuing to notice the nuances in your body. Maybe there's softness between the eyebrows now. Your tongue is resting at the roof of your mouth. And maybe your fingers start to uncurl a little bit. So as we continue to breathe, I want you to draw to mind something that you're grateful for right now. Let it expand. Let it move into greater detail, the situation, the relationships that are involved in that gratitude. And then draw to mind the intention that you have for this day. You know, kind of without thinking hard, what your day involves. How would you like to move through it? Move towards the day and your activities. Automatically, when we move into that space, we're drawn into part of ourselves that we may not be happy with or satisfied with. Like a darker side of ourselves. as you continue to breathe, allow that darkness to kind of bubble up. Allow yourself to examine it from a outside perspective, a non-threatening perspective. No judgment, just awareness. And whenever you need a touchstone, gently just come back to that intention for that day that you set for yourself. And continue to breathe. It's almost as if you're flipping the pages of a book between your intention and examining that dark side of your personality. This is where the suffering lies, pain, and fear. Right? And external situations, such as what we're dealing with now with social distancing, can definitely exacerbate, heighten. And it can bring out more anxiety, more depression, more aggression in ourselves. Just allow yourself in this safe space to go there in your mind. Keep breathing. Now, as you continue to breathe, I want you to pause for a moment, almost as if you're hit the pause button and calm the conversation that's in your mind. And pause to listen. First, start by listening to your surroundings. What are the noises that you hear around you? The noises made by your house, maybe those who live with you. Maybe you can hear some birds chirping outside or traffic. Then give yourself permission to set that aside, those external noises, and quiet yourself even more. Breathing in, breathing out. giving ourselves permission to listen for God's goodness, to expand our faith. We have to practice it. Faith is like a muscle. It needs to be used or it atrophies. And I believe that there's no greater time than today to practice our faith. Now, you may not hear what you're listening for or what you want, but give yourself permission to receive whatever it is that God wants you to receive. Give yourself permission. Maybe it's just resting in His goodness and light. As you continue to breathe, feeling your chest lift, your chest lower, your belly inflate. You draw deeper into God's goodness, into His peace and His rest. I wanted to share with you today a reading from the Center of Action and Contemplation by Richard Rohr. He had a piece last week, on Thursday, March 19th, that just hit home to me, and I wanted to share it with you. It's titled Love Alone Overcomes Fear. And he writes, "It is shocking to think how much the world has changed in such a brief time. Each of us has had our lives and our communities disrupted. Of course, I am here in this with you. I feel that I am in no position to tell you how to feel or how to think, but there are a few things that come to mind that I will share. A few days ago, I was encouraged by the Franciscans and by my leadership team here to self-quarantine. So I've been in my little hermitage now for 3 or 4 days. I've had years of practice, literally, how to do what we're calling social distancing. I have a nice large yard behind me where there are 4 huge, beautiful cottonwood trees. So I walk my dog, Opie, every few hours. Right now, I'm trying to take in psychologically, spiritually, and personally, what is God trying to say? When I use that phrase, I'm not saying that God causes suffering to teach us good things, but God does use everything. If God wanted us to experience global solidarity, I can't think of a better way. We all have access to this suffering, and it bypasses race, gender, religion, and nation. We are in the midst of a highly teachable moment. There is no doubt that this period will be referred to for the rest of our lifetimes. We have a chance to go deep and to go broad. Globally, we're in this together. Depth is being forced on us by great suffering, which, as I like to say, always leads to great love. But for God to teach us, we have to allow suffering to wound us. Now is no time for an academic solidarity with the world. Real solidarity needs to be felt and suffered. That's the real meaning of the word suffer, to allow someone else's pain to influence us in a real way. We need to move beyond our own personal feelings and take in this whole. This, I must say, is one of the gifts of television. We can turn it on and see how people in countries other than our own are hurting. What is going to happen to those living in isolated places, or for those who don't have health care. Imagine the fragility of the most marginalized, of people in prisons, homeless, the homelessness, or even the people performing necessary services, such as the ambulance drivers, nurses, and doctors, risking their lives to keep society together. Our feelings of urgency and devastation are not an exaggeration. They are responding to the real human situation. We're not pushing the panic button. We are the panic button. And we have to allow these feelings and invite God's presence to hold and sustain us in a time of collective prayer and lament. I hope this experience will force our attention outwards to the suffering of the most vulnerable. Love always means going beyond yourself to otherness. It takes two. There has to be the lover and the beloved. We must be stretched to an encounter with otherness. And only then do we know it's love. This is what we call subject-subject relationship. Love alone overcomes fear and is the true foundation that lasts. 1 Corinthians 13:13. So friends, I hope there was a word or a phrase or an image invoked that resonates with you or challenges you. As you breathe in today, as you take notice, what is yours to do? Breathe in now, what is mine? And exhale now, to do. Breathe in what is mine, and exhale, to do. Maybe repeat that breath prayer a few more times, just letting it sink in. And perhaps begin to wiggle your fingers and your toes, round out your wrists, round out your ankles. Open your hands really broad, your toes too, and then draw them into tight fists. Tuck them in tight and let every muscle in your body engage. Feel the muscles cling to the bone, anchoring in. Drive it in a little harder, pressing, clinging. Now take a beautiful deep breath in and tighten those muscles even more. And then as you exhale, release. Let the hands and the toes unfurl. Let your muscles soften. Perhaps roll to the side, remove the props from behind you, or gently sit up. As you anchor back down into your sits bones and rise tall through the crown, just give yourself a few moments to get reacquainted with sitting tall. Take some time to slowly open your eyes. Maybe a sliver at first. Then close them once again, just looking at the back side of your eyelids. And then with me, take a beautiful breath in. Inhale, sweep your arms overhead, lift that gaze. Just offer up your gratitudes for this day. Drawing the palms together, hands move into heart center. Friends, we breathe in what is mine, and we exhale to do. Let's do that 2 more times. Breathing in what is mine, and exhaling to do. Inhaling what is mine, and exhaling to do. Friends, I thank you so much for sharing your practice with me today. The light in me honors and bows to the light in you. May your day be filled with peace, joy, and contentment. And in his blessed name, namaste.